All right, so hey, rich friends. Today is February 2nd, 2025. This is our first class in February. And as always, we're going to do a little bit of mindset chat just to get you guys like in the right headspace before we actually jump into the charts because a lot of trading is not really technical analysis. It's more so like how do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about this thing that you're doing? And do you feel like you have the capacity to actually be doing something like this? So today we're just going to talk a little bit about just overall like how you're managing your time, how you're managing your expectations, and how you are managing your life. Because if you're not intentional about the things that you're doing from the moment you wake up, then your life is just going to keep going all different types of ways, and you're never going to reach the place that you want to reach until you figure out what exactly it is that you want to do and where exactly it is that you want to go. Now, everybody on this call has some type of mobile device or phone. Um, and it's just crazy to think that at one point in time, this phone, right? At one point in time, this was just a concept that somebody had in their mind. It was something that they thought about, right? They got the idea from somewhere. They probably wrote it down. They probably told other people, and they decided to work on it and work on it and work on it until they actually perfected it. And they're still upgrading these phones every single day. Like this is the iPhone 15. The iPhone 16 is out. I'm pretty sure they've already started working on the 17, 18. Same thing with Samsung. Any type of device or anything that you can think of, it had to literally come from somebody's head at some point in time. And if that person didn't stay on that thought path and that person didn't continue to work on that ideal and the thing that they saw that they wanted to accomplish, they would have not done that thing. If you think about the clothes that you wear on your back, the shoes that you wear on your feet, the jewelry that you wear, the glasses that you wear, everything at some point in time was a figment of somebody's imagination. So if you guys understand that concept, just go ahead and drop a seven in the chat. The same way how if you have a favorite celebrity or if you have a favorite athlete, that person just wasn't that person. They started to do something one day and then they just kept on doing it until they actually became the best. And if you actually watch any, I'm not gonna say have idols because you realize that every person is just a person and it's not really good to have idols. But if you ever watched an interview with somebody who you consider successful, a lot of people have the same story where it's like they were just really passionate and they were driven by the fact that they wanted something. So they continued to work on that thing until they got it. If you've ever heard a story like that from somebody you admire, just go ahead and drop a seven in the chat or any famous person. You heard them say that they wanted it so bad, the situation that they was in didn't look like the outcome that they were going to get. However, they persisted in that ideal until they obtained the things that they wanted. And it's going to be the same thing when it comes to you. You just have to be more mindful of how you are spending your time, how you're spending your energy. What are you choosing to think about? What are you choosing to give life to? And I say this on a lot of classes, but the image that you want of yourself, you have to really get attached to it and you have to keep working on it until it also just goes from being a concept in your mind until it's something that you have physically created within your own life. So if you're saying that you want to be a successful trader, you want to be profitable, you want this to be an additional stream of income, you want this to replace your main income. What steps are you taking actively on a daily basis to help you actually reach that ideal? Like when you wake up in the morning and you're checking your phone, are you getting on social media? Are you texting your family members? Are you texting your spouse? Are you waking up to drama? It's like, what are you actually choosing to focus on? Or are you focusing on today I'm going to be a better trader, right? Is that the thought that is sitting in your subconscious the most? Because whatever things sit in our subconscious the most are the things that we are going to manifest. And we think that when we say something now that we said it's happened in the present and it's done and over with. But the things that we say now are actually things that we are manifesting in the future. So, for example, if you lose a trade and you say, okay, I'm not that good at trading, You're not saying that you're not good at trading in that moment. You're literally just creating more opportunities for you not to be good at trading. Because if that's something that you believe and that's something that you settle on, why would you then go and do extra things to make you feel good about trading if you've already accepted the idea that you're not a good trader and this isn't going to work out for you? Versus if you say to yourself every day, I am a profitable trader. This is something that is building my life and enriching my life and making me feel better, then those are the things that you're going to get. There's this article, it's just like from Psychology Today, and it was basically saying how if your mind does not accept of something to be true, it's not going to allow you to put your full physical energy into it because literally, what's the point? And I'm always going to use fitness as an example. If you're somebody who, as we get older, we should all be focused on this, but everybody lives differently. But if you are focused on health and wellness and improving yourself every single day, it says I'm breaking up. You're not going to get to that fit person that you want to be if you are not exercising every day, right? And if you didn't truly believe that you could be fit, why would you get up and exercise in the first place? Why are you even changing your diet if you don't believe that you can reach your fitness or health goals? It's the same thing when it comes to planning a vacation. I know tons of people who work all the time and they don't take a lot of vacations, and that's because they don't believe that they can afford a vacation. So why would they then save money for a vacation? Why would they start looking for a vacation? Why would they start planning a vacation if they don't have the resources right now? But the way that manifestation works is actually backwards because you have to first decide that you want to go on the trip. You have to first decide that you want to be fit. You have to first decide that you want to be profitable, and then you'll start to actively take the steps in that direction. Because when we sit down and think about it, everything that's happening in our outer world and our reality are things that we have manifested for ourselves at one point in time or another. If you have a job right now, I'm pretty sure it's better than the last job you had. And when you were at the last job you had, you prayed for a better position. If that's something you can relate to, you can go ahead and drop a seven in the chat. Or maybe the relationship that you're in right now, you used to be in a relationship that broke your heart and it distracted you and it made you feel all types of ways, but now you're in a better situation. So if we know that we can actively take steps to get to where we want to be, we need to only be focusing on the things that we want and stop giving our time and attention and energy to things that do not matter. Like the past is literally the past. It's never going to come back. All we have is the present, and the things that we say in the present and the actions that we take in the present are going to set the foundation to the type of future that we have. The words that we speak now is setting the precedent for the type of future that we're going to have. Like if I say to myself today, and I say to myself every single day, I'm going to be a profitable trader. This is going to be a profitable week. I'm going to start to do things that help me align with being a profitable trader. It's not just going to fall out the sky, right? The trade ideas are not just going to come to me, but I'm going to start to look at the charts more often. I'm going to start to seek more profitable opportunities. I'm going to start to slow down in my trades because I'm aligning myself with this ideal that I want. And I know it's not just going to happen, right, overnight. You have to actively take the steps to get there, right? And a lot of us do focus on our physical health and we improve physically. Some people do go to the doctor and you get your checkups and you're focused on your physical health. Some of us go to church and some of us have spiritual practice and we're focused on our spiritual health. Some of us have therapists and friends and family we can rely on and we're focused on our mental health. And we're actively taking steps in these directions to get the results that we want. So when it comes to your finances, you have to literally do the same thing and have the same approach. What is your financially fit plan, right? And if you don't have one, that's something that you can think about. And it's something that you should fantasize about and focus on, right? You should never, ever focus on the losses that you've taken or the things that have happened in the past. You should never focus on that because you cannot get that time back, right? And everything that happened in your life, it wasn't a mistake. Like if you've ever had a really good day, that good day would have not been able to take place without those really bad days. And as you're having days right now, you should be saying, okay, how is this affecting my future? How is this going to apply to something that's happening to me in the future? And when you get more intentional about the type of days that you're having and the type of thoughts that you're having, that's going to influence the type of actions that you're taking. And that's going to influence the results that you're getting, not only in the market, but outside of the market as well. Right? You have to get real with yourself and figure out what is programming me, like what is guiding me. What am I using my thought power and like what am I using my brain for? What am I using my words for? Like am I just speaking negative about myself and now negative things keep happening to me because what I said is literally coming true? This always happens to me because you keep saying that it always happens to you? Or are you speaking positivity and creating more abundant scenarios for yourself, right? So I just want to remind you that you actually do have control of your thoughts, whether you are actually conscious of this or not, but your mind is always working, it's always going, even when you're sleeping, even when you think you're mindlessly scrolling, even when you think you're sitting there doing nothing. Every single thing that you're exposed to is gonna guide your thoughts, right? So if you're constantly around people that are grumpy or negatively talking about money, are these actually things that you believe yourself, or have you just heard it so much that you've started to accept it? Like, just think about some of the conversations you have or hear, right? You don't got to participate, but think about some of the conversations you have or hear when you're at family gatherings or when you're with your friends or when you're just scrolling on something online. Like, a lot of the stuff is really ridiculous. And Bob Proctor, one thing he said that I really like was he said most people don't really think, they just have mental activity. So a lot of people's minds is not really a lot going on. And he said if people actually said what was on their minds, most people would be speechless because most people don't really know what's going on or have real answers to things. They're just repeating trivia of something that they've heard from somebody else, right? And this is definitely not a political speech, but you can see this a lot when it comes to politics. People are like, I don't like this person, I don't like that person. And then you ask them why, and they only have about maybe one or two things to say. But as you start to ask more questions, you realize that this person doesn't actually know what they're talking about, right? So we need to really stop being so easily influenced by everything else that's being said on television, everything else that's being said in our friend groups, if your friend groups are not about enrichment and empowerment, you need to stop listening to the limiting beliefs that you have inside of yourself because you can actually combat those thoughts with positive things that you want to believe. Like, what do you want to believe? Like, what do you want to manifest in your life? What seeds do you want to water, right? Because whatever seed you water and every single thought you have is a seed. Every single thought you have is a seed. And every seed you nurture will grow. So if you're nurturing all these negative things about yourself, oh, this isn't going to work out. Oh, I'm always meant to be broke. Oh, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Those are the type of situations you're going to continue to create for yourself, right? Maybe you need to do a complete mental overhaul. You need to get rid of those limiting beliefs. You need to start to It's actually a mental practice called revision, where you're only imagining what you want to imagine. And I actually encourage everybody to try this. This is something that I've actively started doing every night. And it could be difficult at first, but as you start it, it really will influence the way you think about things. And just to revise your thoughts and help to get you on a better mental path, it's when you lay down at night, you're just go through your day, but go through your day as if this is the day you wanted to have and not the day you actually had. So let's just say you get up in the morning and you check your email and your email says you missed the payment. This payment is late. And then the next thing that happened was somebody called you with some bad news and then you ran into somebody that you didn't like and all these things happen. But as you are going to bed and you're revising your day, think about I woke up and I was peaceful. Think about instead of that email saying this payment is late, the email is now saying this payment has been received. Instead of thinking about having a negative interaction with somebody or getting bad news, think about somebody called you with good news, right? And as you start to do this every single day, you'll start to see that the things that you are imagining and choosing to spend your time on are the things that are going to start to happen more in your life versus if you think about a person and they stress you out. Like, and I'm pretty sure this has happened to somebody. And if this has happened to you, just drop a seven in the chat where it's somebody you just don't like or don't get along with. And you know when you run into that person, you can almost play the interaction in your head because you know how that person is. And nine times out of ten, the interaction goes that way, and that person pisses you off. Or if you have somebody like that in your life, just go ahead and drop a seven in the chat, right? And I want you to just think about literally like what I just said. You're playing these interactions with this person in your head before you even engage with that person. And then when you meet that person, exactly what you thought happened because you created that reality for yourself. Now, I promise you, this probably is going to sound crazy, but if you start to revise your thoughts and if you start to revise how you think and feel about that person, your interactions with that person will improve because we just admitted that this is only happening because this is what we're thinking about. And if what we're thinking about is what comes to pass, then why not use that same energy to focus on a positive interaction with the person who gets on your nerves? And just to bring this into trading, if every time you think about trading, right, and you guys can drop some sevens in the chat for this as well, and there's nothing wrong with this. If you think about trading and you get fearful, and you get anxious and you get scared, right? You can just drop a seven in the chat. Even if you don't feel this way now, if you've ever felt this way about trading, right? You literally attracted this into your life. Now think about what if you decided that you didn't want to focus on those fear-mongering thoughts anymore? What if every time you thought about the market, you got excited, right? And the cool thing about your subconscious is it doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. So you have to start to revise your own thoughts and you have to start to infuse your imagination with things that you want to happen versus things that are already happening, right? You have to literally trick it and shift the narrative as to what's happening inside your head. So if you get anxious about trading, oh, excuse me, if you get anxious about trading, that's probably one of the main reasons why you're not being a successful trader. It's not because the signals are bad. It's not because you're missing the ideas. It's not because you don't really know what you're doing. It's literally because every time you think about the market, you are creating fear scenarios. So every time you open the charts, you are literally living out that fearful scenario that you created in your head when you don't have to do that, right? You can choose fear, right? Or you can choose faith. We don't know what's going to happen once we click that button when we get in the market. But if we get into the market already scared, already thinking, oh, I know I'm going to lose, why are you even trading if you already know you're going to lose? What is the point of that? Like, why are you going? It's like going to a basketball game and being on a team and knowing you're going to lose. If you knew you were going to lose, you would not even play, right? But a lot of people go through the motions anyway and they decide to, I don't know, they just keep clearly the results that you're getting in your real life are only a reflection of the thoughts that go on inside of your head. So you can't say these things. I want to be profitable. I want to be financially free. I want to be stable. I want my businesses to get off the ground. I want to travel when I want. I don't want to work for this job. That can't be true because you keep creating situations that are keeping you in that place versus focusing on things that are going to get you out of the situation of where you're at, right? You literally cannot get to the next place that you want to be by standing in the same place that you're at. And you can't tell people around you that's looking at you, I'm going to the next place, I'm going to the next place because talk is cheap if you're literally, right, emotionally, mentally, financially, physically standing there, right? You have to move and you have to get it going. And what a lot of people, for some reason, don't tell you is that this all starts in your mind. It's literally 10% technical analysis. I'm pretty sure everybody on this call has been to enough classes, has seen enough videos, has met with me enough time, watched enough videos on YouTube. You know that you can do this, right? You know that it's possible to make money from this. You know that technical analysis is not the issue. The issue is you, right? You are being afraid to open your charts because you think you're gonna get it wrong. You're not opening your Telegram throughout the week because you don't think it's going to be any profitable signals there. You are creating these situations for yourself. And again, the same time and energy that you're spending on things that are not working out for you, you can just redirect that energy into something that is going to work out for you, right? Stop worrying about what happened last time and focus on what's going to happen next time. Stop worrying about the last time you lost a trade and think about the next time you're going to win a trade and how are you going to get to that winning trade, right? Stop worried about what everybody else is doing in the chat and focus on your trading plan because you worried about what everybody else is doing, you waiting for signals, you being scared to trade in your demo account. Is this making you any money or getting you further away from your goal, right? You say you want one thing, but the actions that you're taking are literally counter to that. And until you get in alignment with what you actually say you want, and until you actually fuse your imagination with what it is that you want, you're just not going to get it, right? You can't just think about these things. You have to actively take action to achieve these things. And again, I'm just here to help you have a mindset shift. All of the technical stuff that you could ever want is there, right? I can post 15 trades a week, but if you're still not going to open your phone, or if you're going to be lazy about it, if you're going to be lackadaisical, if you're going to treat it like it's secondary and is not a priority for you, then that's exactly how it's going to manifest in your life. But when you start to say, I'm going to take the steps to actually learn this, I'm going to log in, I'm going to put 5 minutes into my learning, I'm going to try. Usually, when you try and you put your energy in the right direction, that's when you start to get results. Not by sitting there, not by being grumpy, not by being negative, but about focusing on what you want and saying no to everything that isn't that, right? You need to focus on growing your account, not blowing your account. So that's really all I have for y'all today as far as mindset goes. We are going to look at the charts. This video is about to end in 4 minutes, so I'm just going to stop it and then I'm going to reopen the link. But I just want to end this session by saying that you are in control of your mind, you are in control of your time. Anytime you feel yourself getting into a bad mood, the same exact energy that you're using to sit there and sulk and be sad, you need to shift it and you need to trick your subconscious into thinking that you have everything that you already want. Like there is no I was, there is no I did. There's literally only I am and what's happening after this point, right? So I can't even say get out of your own head, but get out of your own way and start to speak more positively, speak life into yourself. Like you literally spend more time with yourself than anybody in this world. So the things that you say and the things that you believe and the way that you treat yourself, like literally think about yourself, your future self, as a separate person, right? If your best friend came to you with the issue, you would be kind to your best friend. If a stranger came to you, you will offer a stranger loving words that was just so kind and so encouraging and so uplifting. So why is it that when your future self says, I need you to get this, you're so dismissive? Like, if you really think about it, you're quite mean to your future self if you're not doing everything you can to be that person. Right. And if you can relate to that, just go ahead and drop a seven in the chat. If you need to be kinder to your future self, drop a seven in the chat and I'll drop some sevens because we can all be kinder, right, to our future selves, right? We need to treat that person like a person that we care about, like a person that we want to make it out the struggle, like a person that we actually love, that a person whose success we actually value. Like that person is you. But until you start acting like it's somebody else and you have to get there, you're literally going to stay where you are. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video and you guys can literally just re-click the link and we're going to jump into trading. But Thank you all for coming to this mindset talk. Again, it will be available for playback tonight. But let's actually get into these charts.